watching Macon TV, WPGA.
Okay, welcome back to Your Mix in the Morning. I'm Aaron Bowers, and I am joined by Neill Calabro. We're talking to Neill because of his book called Hanging Angels. Well, you can't see that. Well, yeah, I guess you can. Hanging Angels. Now, I'm going
There's actually
to...
3 covers.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that this has something to do with a lynching.
Yes.
Yeah. The reason I assume that is because of this picture that's on the front. But this is a novel.
Yes.
And tell us about it.
It's a Southern Gothic novel, and it takes place in 1961 as the Freedom Riders are coming into Montgomery, Alabama. And while this is playing out with the world watching, only a few miles away, there's a white mob that has lynched an African American. Now, the African American, he survives, but the local law won't let anybody take him down from the noose.
Oh my God! So he's still hanging
yes,
there. Oh.
And from there, there's a trial, and this is kind of like To Kill a Mockingbird, where it's one man against society.
What prompted you to write this?
One of the themes that goes through is where we as humans have to hold on to something more than reality, and there's a lot of supernatural in this story.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking of faith, and of course I have faith, and the supernatural theme is there's a greater purpose than what we see.
I want to read a review of your book that was posted online. It says, Calabro is now one of my favorite authors. This thought-provoking novel presents the story of Jefferson Pine and the small Alabama town that carries his name. Hanging Angels takes a unique perspective in exploring the racism present in the middle of the 20th century. In this story, Calabro weaves a stark reality of racism with the fictional characters and supernatural events to leave the reader on the edge of their seat with anticipation.
Cool.
I love the story and look forward to more works from this author. And will there be more works from this author?
The only other second novel I can see writing is why an author only wants to write a first novel.
Yeah, okay.
This is Your Mix in the Morning.
This is a book called Hanging Angels, written by Mr. Calabro, and I want to read the jacket liner,
Okay.
if that's okay with you.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll give us an idea of what we're talking about here. This is a novel. As a parent, Jefferson Pine doesn't think it unordinary that his kid talks to God. But shadowing Jefferson for decades is what Garrett Pine believes God said back. Instead of dealing with his son, Jefferson has his own dad to worry about as they struggle in the Great Depression, fixing these newfangled automobiles. With wanderlust beckoning him to go to law school, Jefferson finally creates a gossip sensation by chasing after his dream and becoming an attorney. But not facing his demons comes back to haunt Jefferson in 1961, when, having to face his angels, he takes on the case of James Barton, an African American who survives a lynching but is forced to remain hanging in the noose by redneck law. As the town gives Jefferson their own version of payback, his only ally is James' cousin. But Wanda Barton knows the weakness of Jefferson and sees it in preventing justice. His problem is not the cemetery caretaker claiming James Barton was attacked by a headless white woman, my golly, nor is it the pounding headaches from a childhood accident giving him visions beyond his world. But all is lost if Jefferson just can't tell the difference between black and white. This doesn't have anything to do with the anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, which was yesterday.
That's why I'm here.
Okay, well, I figured that's why it was, and I just wanted to know.
No, it doesn't.
Now, when you're writing, you gotta follow a timeline, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you sit down and sketch out this kind of thing in chart form?
No, I start with the night was, and then I put the end, and then I just start filling it up.
Yeah, it starts here with, it was a cold and stormy night. You have 3 different covers for this
Yes.
book. Now, explain yourself. Yeah, here's one. All right.
The Scarecrow one came out first, and I just loved it. Oh yeah, you want to hold
Give me
that?
the other one there. Yeah, let's see here if I can get them where they're not. Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah, that's great. I should get behind you to get into shot. The Scarecrow came out first, and I loved it, and I showed it to a friend, and they said, no, not that one.
You're talking about the one with the scarecrow
Yeah.
hanging with the noose around his neck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I tried the courtroom one. They said, that's better, keep going. And then when finally I got the one with the town sign, the black and white background, and down here there's a little boy. He's
Well, there is, isn't there? I
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
notice that. He's kind of half-tone. He's sort of ethereal looking.
yes,
So it goes,
and that's part of the story.
yeah. Well, the
he
noose
goes
is also
ethereal.
transparent.
Yes.
In this one it is, at least.
And he's kind of glowing a little.
Yeah, okay. All right. Now, what's the deal with the speedometer on the back?
The main character, Jefferson Pine, because they're dealing with newfangled automobiles,
Right.
his father is kind of obsessed with it. And he's pushing the dad, he's pushing Jefferson, come on, we're going to do this because your grandfather over here, look how old he is, and he's going to learn how to work on cars, so you're going to do it too.
I see.
So cars is a theme throughout.
This is a speedometer from an old Ford, goes up to 100 miles an hour. That was kind of wishful thinking, wasn't it? I mean, surely these
Because
things...
the tires came off at 30, right?
But you've got on the odometer, it says 25 years later.
Yeah. The story breaks and goes into part 2, yeah.
What I would like to do, Neil, is I would like you to read
Okay.
something from your book, Hanging Angels. They have lynched this feller,
Yes, fella.
and then somebody's intervened, and they're trying to
They're
put a
trying to
stop
get
to
a
this.
jury to say, let that man free.
And while all this is going on, he's still hanging from the tree.
Yes.
Are they feeding him or what?
There's guards, and they're just
Whoa.
letting him be there.
Okay, all right, so go ahead then with your...
So, again, this is during a break in the trial. It's going bad, and James' cousin Wanda's slapping some sense into the white attorney. She pulls his chin up to make sure he's not only listening, but aware of the intensity in her eyes. Get James down from his hell. I want you to stand him before that lawyer. I want to hear those jurors sing his innocence. Her voice is releasing a different tone from the previous rage outside. With great hope, she has a cadence of a soul crying for freedom. I want you to get that judge to set James Barton free. Get the light to shine down from heaven. Walk him out of here with your eyes to the Lord and to victory. Jefferson is caught up in Wanda's passion. He may not think there's any chance the jury will release James Barton, but he wants to encourage Wanda at this last moment. He reaches up and grabs her shoulders. But Jefferson mistakenly quotes the death prophecy of Jesus saying, I tell you today, he and I will be in paradise.
Whoa! You're not going to tell us how this ends, are you?
Well, there's a picture of me.
I was going to say, why don't you read us the last page?
Above the end.
Above the end, yeah.
That was a
Wow.
great teaser, though.
It is. So, have you got any hate mail on this?
Yes. One of my friends from high school tore me a new one on Facebook because of how I represented one of the attorneys. Her husband's a public defender.
Oh, no! And this character wasn't based on him, though, was it?
No, and she misunderstood what I was saying to begin with, but I couldn't calm her down. So I just let it go and said, okay, leave a review on Amazon.
And did they?
No,
Oh, okay.
not yet.
So all your reviews have been good so far?
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, is there an audio book?
There
Audio
is
version of this?
Not. I hear there's a way to have, I don't know, I guess you get a Stephen Hawking voice type of someone reading. Okay, Scott knows.
Stephen Hawking to read your book? I don't know that would be a very good
Text-to-speech
idea.
computerized voice.
Well, it's,
Oh, I see.
it's the computer generated voice, Okay, Scott's
Yeah,
Guest.
they haven't quite perfected that yet. I mean, they're coming along with it, but no, I thought maybe you would read it yourself. Have
I tried
an
that.
audio version.
I tried that, and I want to go from start to end. And so you wake up early in the morning, and you're reading down like this because your voice is here. And then while you're 30 pages in, you're up here now because your voice is... And I never want to stop, so it just sounds horrible.
Yeah, okay, so we won't be doing that. Huh?
Yeah, I'm going to get Kelsey Grammer.
All right, oh, Kelsey Grammer, well, that'd be good. I'm sure he ain't got nothing to do. Tell us about some of these characters here.
Jefferson is the...
This is the main character.
He's the main character. He runs through the entire book. The movie.
The movie. You're getting ahead of yourself now here.
Yeah. Come on, Coen brothers. Come on, John Sayles. Come on, Ray McKinnon.
All right.
The book starts in 1920,
Yeah.
and that's part one. And so you see him grow up, taking on the family, going through all the problems. You know, his father going in through the church, meeting odd characters that you don't really know if they're real or not. And yeah, that's part of the supernatural element.
How big is Pines, Alabama?
Pines, I'm guessing it's less than 50 yards long. I've based it off of Oakfield, Georgia.
So there is no Pines, Alabama.
I saw a Pines in Alabama, but it's purely coincidental.
Do you expect to hear from the Pines Chamber of Commerce on this thing? Hey, listen.
This is I'm the president of Pines, and we're
The
sending
mayor.
you a, yeah, the mayor.
The mayor of
I'm the
Pines.
lawyer, I'm the sheriff. Yeah.
That's right, and the coroner. Yeah.
Part two is just for 3 days of 1961, as the Freedom Riders are doing their thing in all on the world stage. This atrocities happening in anonymity, you know, and that's part of the juxtaposition of the story. Who's there for us? You know, the world is supporting the Freedom Riders, and nobody even knows about this poor man who's been lynched. They were just letting him hang there, and people were coming, bringing their kids, picnic baskets.
No.
Yeah, it's part of the shock of shock wearing off.